How many of you know someone or personally have ever been on a diet? Show me by the hands. Yes, I'm not surprised. How many find that you are constantly comparing yourself in some way to someone else? Just not even just from a body standpoint, just in general comparing yourself to someone else. It's common, right? We do that. I have spent over 25 years trying to change the shape of my body. 25 years. And I didn't start when I was 3. I started, I'd like to think that I'm that young. I started dieting when I was 12 years old. 12. Some of you might have children that are that age, or you have grandchildren that are that age. I was not feeling confident in myself. I was feeling, insecure as a young girl is often, trying to figure out who they are, figure out how their bodies are changing. And I wasn't happy. And I figured, why not follow in the footsteps of my mother, women around me, and start dieting? Because if I change the shape of my body, then I'm going to be more confident in myself. Because that's what society tells us, right? Am I right on that? Yeah. So at 12 years old, I started dieting. I was counting my calories. I was measuring my food. I was charting my weight on a Bristol board on the back of my bedroom door. And I stepped on the scale every single day, measuring my weight, making sure that it was going in the direction that I needed it to. That carried on into high school. And I really didn't necessarily know I was doing something wrong or that wasn't good for me, but I just did what everybody else was doing. And I never blamed my mother for that because she never once put me on a diet, but we follow in the behaviors that we see people are doing around us. So I went into high school still trying to figure out how I was going to navigate this, going from one diet to another, gaining weight, losing weight, because that is what we do when we're on a diet. Because it's never our fault, it's the diet's fault. And I need you to know that. So when I was 14 years old, I decided to join a gym. I went to school downtown Kitchener. I went to St. Mary's High School, and I joined a gym called Platinum Nautilus, and I became this dedicated fitness person. And I was going to the classes because I figured if I can burn the calories and exercise, then I can manage this with this weight equation that I'm trying to do, because that's what we're supposed to do. Eat less and burn more calories, and everything will work out properly. I became a fitness instructor at the age of 16. Again, loved fitness, loved what I was doing, but there definitely was that motive to try and keep my body smaller. I was still trying to figure that out. Unfortunately, as much as I was loving fitness and loving what I was doing, I still had a lot of insecurities in myself. And it really wasn't necessarily about my body. It just was showing up that way. Through my high school years, I was doing everything from taking fat burners, the crazy stuff that's out there, going from one diet to another. I sadly had a lot of, the thing is, it's never about the food, it's always about the emotions that we're feeling. So when I was trying to navigate all this, I used food as a way of helping me cope. Well, then, of course, I was shamed about what I was eating, so I would eat by myself when no one could see. But then, of course, the weight was going up. So sadly, I resorted then to purging my food in high school. And, you're doing this, but you don't know how to stop because you're kind of stuck in that cycle of trying to navigate this world that we're trying to feel beautiful in and feel important in. So I carried on doing my best, and again, going on the scale every single day. And through high school, it was really tough because I was actually getting on the scale sometimes 2 to 3 times a day. I was going on the scale first thing in the morning. I'd go on the scale when I'd come home from the gym. I'd go on the scale before bed because that dictated what I was allowed to do the next day. So when I went into university, carried on, I had my good days and my bad days. It wasn't like I was always on this bad path. I got married. My wonderful husband's here tonight. We got married. We had children. Everything was going great. My life seemed to be finally figured out. I finally was important, and I had value in this world. I decided to take on a position with a fitness company that I was working for to become a group fitness manager. So I would be overseeing about 70 instructors in 3 different cities at 5 different clubs. And I was so excited to take that on. But unfortunately, that was the path that really took me down a really bad hill. Because I still was struggling with my body image. I was still trying to really make sense of this whole dieting equation. Everybody around me could eat whatever they wanted, it appeared. But here I was trying to keep my body small. And so what essentially happened was I was trying to be everything to everybody at work. I had 70 instructors, and fitness instructors have very strong personalities. And I was trying to make everyone happy, because that was another part of my limiting beliefs, is that I had to make everyone like me. If someone didn't like me, I thought there was something wrong with me. So I'm trying to navigate that. I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to bed at 11 o'clock at night. I'm trying to be a good wife. I did my best at that. And I was trying to be a good mother. You see, that's what's happening in this world, is we're trying to do it all. We're trying to be mothers. We're trying to be good employees. We're trying to run our own businesses, all the pressures that society is telling us to do, and we're supposed to push through it all. And that's exactly what I did, because I struggled with perfectionism as well. But eventually, my body said no more. There was a lot of tension at home because I was tired. I wasn't able to sleep anymore. I was waking up 6-7 times a night with no sleep, getting on the scale in the morning, all that stress. If you know what stress does to the body, it causes you to hold on to weight, if not gain weight. So I had all the things I was trying to do, exercising 2 to 3 times a day, teaching my fitness classes. It was burning me out. And then all of a sudden, everybody was concerned about me, but I thought I had it all figured out. And then all of a sudden, I started feeling chest pain. And I'm a strong, healthy person, and I was having chest pains. And I was doing my drives. I was overseeing clubs in Stratford and Woodstock, and I was doing those drives, and I just felt so overwhelmed. I felt like a hamster on a wheel trying to please everybody, but in the end, what was happening is I was losing sight of myself. My happiness was not even a part of the equation anymore. All I was worried about was everyone else. So the chest pains happened, and I also started to have a lot of dark thoughts. And here I am, a very happy person. I showed up everywhere I went, happy. But inside, I was hurting. I was hurting a lot because I couldn't keep up this pace anymore. My children were not getting the best mommy that they deserved. My husband wasn't getting the wife that he deserved. And most importantly, me as a woman in this world, I wasn't getting the life that I deserved. So I just carried on trying to figure this out. And then my big pivotal moment happened for me in Thanksgiving of 2016, where I had emptied my soul of everything. I was showing up to functions completely empty. There was nothing left. See, that's what happens when we lose the joy in our life. We can't let that joy come back in. So ultimately what happened is I had to leave my job. I essentially burnt out is really what happened, and I had to try to figure out how to pick myself back up again. Because when you leave your job and you leave your entire identity and you have nothing left to go through, it's a hard thing to go through. So there was a lot of shame and a lot of guilt around that, worrying about what everybody else thought instead of worrying about my own health. But I'm thankful for my husband. I'm thankful for my mother. I'm very thankful to Marcia, who's sitting at the back right now. I'm thankful for the people who helped me through this, because I felt really lost for a while. But what I've figured out is that we have everything that we need. When we're trying to show up in this world as someone else, when we're trying to put on the masks to make people like us, we can't show up in the world and let our own inner spirit shine. And I recognized that my beauty has nothing to do with my body, but I've learned that my body is amazing, and I celebrate my body every day because it keeps me strong. But I realized that my body is going to change. All of our bodies are going to change. So our beauty can't come from the outside. So I ask you tonight, when you leave here, if you know someone who is dieting, if you yourself are dieting, please consider throwing out your scale. I have not been on a scale for almost a year and a half, and I weighed myself consistently from the age 12 up every single day. Getting rid of that scale was a very hard thing to do, but it was so empowering. And it's taught me that I choose my happy now, because that scale told me every morning whether or not I was supposed to be happy or whether I was supposed to be sad that day. And it didn't just affect me. When that scale didn't say the right thing, it affected everybody around me. Also, I want to ask you this. If you are a parent, if you are a grandparent and you have young children, please focus on health, focus on movement, focus on doing things that keep your body strong, not in the pursuit of changing your body, but in the pursuit of celebrating what it can do. Thank you so much.
Yeah.